This is me descending straight down onto a massive stingray I didn't even see, sitting perfectly camouflaged on the sand, 75 feet deep, nearly 20 miles offshore. And that right there raises a real question. Who in their right mind would travel that far from the coast on a tiny wooden raft dive into waters where the fish look like they came straight out of a horror movie? Barracudas with razor-sharp teeth, giant stingrays armed with venomous barbs, and predators even bigger than that lurking in the blue. This is today's adventure, far from land, where help doesn't exist and mistakes are paid for instantly. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you the greatest danger a freediver faces at this depth, and it's not the animal you think. The sun was just breaking the horizon as we pushed off. The smell of salt in the air, the sound of the waves pounding the reef ahead of us. First challenge of the day, crossing the surf. One wrong move here, and the trip ends before it even begins. From there, we aimed straight into the open ocean. First 15 miles, then 20, then almost 20 miles offshore. I've already made trips like this before, but this one was different. 30 kilometers out, on a small raft, feet constantly wet, no engine, no backup. Would you do it? Let me know if you'd have the courage to take a journey like this. The fishing started fast. As soon as the first line bent, you could see the joy on his face. That's the magic of fishing. It turns grown men into kids again. But when I jumped in the water, I realized something was wrong. The live bait basket came up nearly empty. No fish meant no food, and no food meant a long, miserable day. So I took it on myself to secure lunch. I swam away from the raft and ran into a massive school of needlefish, the kind of bait that attracts everything from mahi-mahi to barracuda. Where there's bait, there's predators. That's when I decided to drop. One of the questions I get asked the most is how long I can hold my breath. People don't realize that a 65-foot dive requires way more than just holding your breath for a minute. To safely stay down that long, you need static apnea training of 3 to 4 minutes. And hunting is nothing like holding your breath while relaxed. You're moving, equalizing pressure, fighting currents, dealing with water temperature and sunlight, burning oxygen every second. Everything works against you. I laid still on the sand, waiting. Sharks passed in the distance but showed no interest. Schools of fish swept by, close enough to touch, but I waited for the right moment. When the fish became too nervous, I surfaced to breathe. On the way up, the air in my mask expanded, and I slowly inhaled it through my nose to make the ascent smoother. Back at the surface, chaos erupted. Mahi-mahi exploded through the bait ball, attacking from every direction. A shot rang out, the fish ran hard, and the ocean came alive. Soon it was time to move again. Bigger fish, deeper water, higher stakes. Barracuda territory. We were now over 75 feet deep, nearly 20 miles offshore, with water clearer than anything closer to land. On my first ascent, I inspected a sunken car on the bottom, a perfect ambush point. That's when it happened. A massive barracuda appeared out of nowhere, moving slow, curious. I raised my spear slightly, and that small movement was enough. It turned back toward me. I fired. The fish exploded in pure speed, ripping lines so fast I thought I wouldn't make it back to the surface. I barely reached air, but the fight was just beginning. The shot wasn't perfect. If I rushed it, I'd lose the fish, or worse. My partner was already there, watching my ascent, ready to help. He went down and placed a second shot, securing the fish. That teamwork saved everything. Alone, I would have lost it. But the ocean wasn't done with us yet. Moments later, my partner shot an even bigger barracuda, and it tangled itself inside the wreck. Strong current, no float line to rest on, repeated deep dives. This is where free diving turns dangerous fast. Fatigue builds, heart rate spikes, oxygen drops. I dove down diagonally against current, burning precious air, untangling lines instead of cutting them. Every second mattered. Finally, the fish came free. Only when your hand grips the gills do you know the fight is truly over? That barracuda would feed families. These fishermen come from generations of sea people, sons, grandsons, great-grandsons of fishermen. This isn't sport for them. It's survival. On my final dive of the day, tired but focused, I dropped one last time hoping to bring home dinner. That's when I nearly made a fatal mistake. I was descending calmly when I realized too late. I was landing directly on top of a giant stingray, perfectly hidden in the sand. We startled each other. Stingrays are peaceful, but when threatened, they defend themselves with a venomous barb that can be deadly underwater. I backed off slowly, heart pounding, fully aware how close I'd come. The ocean is full of dangerous animals, but they are not the biggest threat to divers. The real enemy is shallow water blackout, the silent loss of consciousness caused by lack of oxygen to the brain. It gives no warning. That's why knowledge, discipline, and diving with a trained partner are non-negotiable. No fish is worth your life. No trophy matters more than the family waiting for you at home. My name is Samson, and this is my truth. This is our life at sea.